Welcome to the podcast of St. Basil the Great in Brecksville, Ohio, with homilies, talks, and interviews relevant to your Catholic life. God bless you and enjoy.
Welcome, St. Basil the Great. Today I have a special guest on today's podcast. It is Pete Baka. He is the husband of Stephanie Baka, who is our music minister here at St. Basil's. And the reason I asked Pete to be with us today is just this past April, Pete joined the Roman Catholic Church. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for him to share his story and then also his experiences through OCIA and some words of encouragement as well. And Pete, you're a little bit unique in certain ways because Pete actually was Orthodox. So the Orthodox Church, we acknowledge all of their sacraments, so they are valid. So Pete's desire was actually to come over to the light of the Roman Catholic Church. As you can see, when you come in, you do get a polo with St. Basil the Great memorabilia as well. So he's all in. So Pete, I would just love to have the guests hear your story about what was faith like growing up for you as an Orthodox.
Okay, great. Thanks for having me, by the way, Father Jeff. Appreciate that. And yes, it's been a great several months here. So yes, grew up in Parma, Ohio. We were three of us in a small little ranch home, right, as typical most people do in the Parma area. But our family was Russian Orthodox. Russian Orthodox came about because of my mother's mother, who was Russian Orthodox. And my father was actually Catholic. I think he was Byzantine Catholic, if I'm correct, and his family on the Baka side. But on my mother's side, they were all Russian Orthodox. They were members of St. Theodosius downtown, which is down there on the south side, or Tremont area. And I do recall, seeing some pictures of my father's First Communion. I think I still have that somewhere, which would have been a long time ago, probably in the 1930s area. But nonetheless, he converted when he married my mother. They had their wedding at St. Theodosius in the 50s. And since then, it's been a family of Orthodox folks. But as growing up, I didn't really do a whole lot of Orthodox things. Occasionally you'd have the priest come to the house with the big long beard and the big hat and, bless the home, which I thought was interesting. But there wasn't a lot of church time for me, at least. I know my sisters would go down more often. And I think my mother maybe, after her father passed away, I think she kind of lost touch with the church somewhat. And that's not uncommon, I think. But so my dad converted, and he was Catholic earlier too. So it wasn't a big, huge staple in our home, but nonetheless, it was respected and it was still honored, Russian Orthodox. We had services in Russian Orthodox, my sister's wedding, my grandparents' funerals. So it was still part of our lives. And then just sort of, growing up, I wasn't really going to church. I mean, I felt there was a presence. I felt there was a God. I didn't understand a whole lot because I wasn't educated a lot on it. And then just sort of fast forward to the people that I knew in my life. I knew Episcopals and I knew, some Lutherans and I knew some Serbian Orthodox folks. And I just got this exposure to Jesus through a lot of different ways.
Right.
Fast forward to about 11 years ago, I met Stephanie. And Stephanie, as you know, awesome person. I had, few relationships that didn't work out well, but nonetheless, Stephanie was there for me, and just a wonderful, wonderful person. As you know, she's just awesome.
Yeah,
I can't say enough about her. She's the best person I know. She really is the best person I know. And so as I got to know Stephanie dating, which I wasn't so sure I wanted to be married again, just because I didn't think I was that good at it. But as I got to know Stephanie and how great she is and how wonderful she is and how her wonderful family is, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And we dated for about 5 years, and then we got married 6 years ago, June 1st. So I got the date right.
Yeah.
And
good for you. She'll be happy when she listens.
Yeah, right. But part of my faith journey, well, I shouldn't say most of my faith journey is because of Stephanie.
Yeah.
I mean, Stephanie introduced me to St. Basil, introduced me to some wonderful couples here at the church and the parish. We would hang out with them. We would go to dinners with them. We'd do parties with them. We'd go camping trips together. And just the community of people at St. Basil was just awesome. And I just, that was the best thing about it at the time.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Stephanie and her mom and her family are very Catholic, and that's good. And they never really pushed it on me. but it also felt like it was just always there.
Yeah.
And as I saw how they were faithful, and as I saw their relationship with Jesus and with God, it was really kind of pushed me in that direction. And in my life, I generally, I've done a lot of good things. I've been successful in business. I've been successful in other things. I'm very grateful for my successes and good luck. But I felt I needed a little more.
Yeah.
And, knowing Stephanie and coming to church, it really was something that said, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
And so I made the decision last fall to join OCIA and go through the classes and learn about Jesus and learn about the scriptures and learn about the Bible and learn about all these things that I had not known before.
Yeah.
Was powerful for me. And
so was Stephanie the first Roman Catholic that you kind of met or were close to growing up?
yes.
Or, yeah.
Yes. Well, other than my father, who was
Byzantine
Catholic,
Right.
but that was such a long time ago. And we
Gotcha.
But yes, Stephanie for certain was the most influential Catholic in my life.
Oh, it's so good. And could you just describe, you said so beautifully, like there was something missing. Like if you can just put a couple extra words, like how would you best, because you were sharing really successful, things are going well in my life, like things just all really come together, but you said but something's still missing. I guess how would you maybe just tease that out a little bit? What is missing?
Yeah. Well, I think you kind of get to a point, and hopefully you get to a point in your life where you need more.
Yeah.
And, I had done a lot of things that were good things, but I needed more in the sense of what does this all mean? Mm-hmm. And how do I fit into this puzzle and this picture? And what can I do to be a better person and a better Christian and a better citizen, right?
Right.
So, the principles that I've learned that, to be Christ-like is what my number one goal was to be. Yeah. It's okay, what are the things that I can do to be a better person?
Right.
Who can I help? Who can I influence? Who can I share with? And that's really what drove me to becoming Catholic, is I can do that through the Catholic Church.
Right.
I can do that through my relationship with Jesus. So, and Stephanie was the conduit to make it happen.
Yeah. Which is so important because obviously you come with a lot more life experience. And I think, and it's good to do self-work and to have the goals and motivation, everything. But you're right. Once you start checking a lot of these boxes, it's well, what's next? Yeah. There's got to be more. And not you're getting to these places where all of a sudden, you just come to that probably that something is missing, gets louder and louder and louder. And to have you acknowledge through Stephanie and those small experiences, oh, I know where that way is now. And just to have that trust with your exposure, Stephanie and her family, to obviously the goodness of, which is so beautiful, because if there's one thing we struggle with sometimes as Roman Catholics, it's fostering community. And what we experience on Sundays to be lived out in the home and in families and barbecues and backyards. And I think we're slowly trying to recapture that in a certain way. That is what led you deeper into discovering more through Stephanie and her family, which is such a grace moment.
Yeah, without a doubt. And there's been people from St. Basil that have had an influence. Father Walt was a great part of this. Deacon Lou with I'm in Ministry, which I became a big part of and helping them. So I'm not only talking about it, I'm actually doing it too.
Right.
So we're doing the work. We're helping. And I always kind of think this, did I find God or did God find me? And I think it's probably more the latter, right? I think he found me and said, okay, I'm putting this person in your life for a reason. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. And that's what's led us to today.
Right.
And so it's been a journey, without a doubt.
A journey, absolutely. And I think what's so good to highlight about that is you began to walk the walk. And I think certain times, we're so quick to indoctrinate or to tell people this is what we believe and teach and try to get them to sign up. But for you, it's very gentle. And obviously your journey with Stephanie and that accompaniment is what led you deeper and deeper in a very, really natural way. We almost know and see that through the Gospels, Christ walked with us and he wasn't very pushy in certain ways. It was always by invitation. Really, that is, for what you shared so far, really been your faith journey. It's been one of the Lord slowly, like you said, he's the one that's been saying hey, Pete, come here next. Hey, Pete, experience this. And that led you to Stephanie and everything experienced. And I guess now So you didn't have to actually go through the whole OCIA process because you were Orthodox. There definitely was a quicker route that Pete could have taken, and you chose not to. So why don't you explain a little bit, like, what was the desire for you to be like, no, I want to go through the entire process of OCIA, even though you knew you didn't have to.
Yeah. Also, I mean, if I would have taken the profession of faith and become Roman Catholic, I could have done that being Orthodox.
Right. But
not knowing all the things about religion and the Catholic Church, I'm like, I want to learn. So what better way to learn than go through OCIA? Yeah. And so it was every Monday for 6 months, 5 months. I got to learn, and I got to have discussions, and I got to talk to other people, and I got to see things that were explained, like this is what we believe, and this is why we believe, and this is how this comes together. I mean, once you become Catholic, that's not the end of it. That's the very beginning of it. Right. So that's the start of a whole nother thought process, and a whole nother way of life. And so if I didn't have that foundation, I would have still probably been wandering, and I would have had little random conversations here and there. So going through the classwork and learning was super valuable to me. I mean, even if I was Catholic, I'd still want to do it.
Right.
If I became Catholic as a child, because I don't know if I'd even remember all that back in the day. So I'd recommend anybody who's thinking about it to certainly go through it. And again, what was interesting too is, if not that I would have done this, but if you'd have gone through OCIA and not decided to become Catholic, well, that would have been a choice as well.
Right.
But you wouldn't know until you went through it.
Right.
So that obviously wasn't what I was after, but going through that, learning, set me on the right path so that I know. Now, I'm still probably in the very beginning of my spiritual and faith journey, and there's still so much more to know and learn, but I've set a good foundation so that I can take it to sort of the next level.
Right. And during OCIA, is there like maybe one moment or class or something that just like really clicked or really opened you up beyond, to your point? And that's a good thing for us to continue to grow and group, like mature intellectually. But it's like, is there one spot you can highlight like, oh, this is right, this is good, like, oh, this is affirming everything of why I wanted to do this entire process? So
one of the things I wouldn't say there was a specific moment, but one of the things that stuck out to me was that there was no sort of black and white, meaning it wasn't like, if you don't do this and you don't do that. It was, yes, that is a good foundation and base to start something. And I'll give you an example. Like, we would sit at our table and a discussion point would come up. And I had great guys at the table, great ladies at the table, and even they weren't 100% on what was being discussed and saying, well, I'm not real sure, I'll need to check on that.
Yeah.
That to me said, I don't have to be perfect in this.
Yeah.
What it meant to me was like, okay, here's your outline, here's your guideline. You decide, you work with how that works for you. I mean, obviously there's very important principles and things for the church, and I don't want to dismiss that. But I felt like I didn't need to be perfect.
Right.
And I think that was a big part of becoming Catholic.
Well, and even to your point, like, I think that's where the Lord loves to always encounter us the most, to your point exactly. Like, he likes to encounter us in those gray areas, because why? That's what faith is now. Like, and to your point, that desire to like, but I need to learn more. I need to like go and sit with this and to pray with this and see like, well, why do I think this way? Why am I struggling? It's like, those are the personal encounters that really allow you to personally meet Jesus Christ in the OCIA process. And I think that is what's so good and affirming for people, this idea of like, I don't need to be perfect. I need to be open. I need to be receptive. I need to be challenged in certain ways to take that then the next step, which is so good, because we see that with the apostles. They were far from perfect when their names were called day one, and they continued to grow and journey. And they still made mistakes, but it's that desire to keep moving forward and knowing that the Lord is my guide and he's the one that's really shepherding me through this route. And I can't affirm that enough. Like, that really is the hope of OCIA, just the openness, and then this understanding of like, well, I don't have all the answers. I'm not perfect. So Jesus, come into these places and show me the way. Which obviously you responded, because you at the Easter Vigil made your profession of faith. And was there anything that maybe stuck out at the Easter Vigil to you in a certain way that was just like, this was a graced moment, like God is fully present here?
I mean, it was an incredible moment. I mean, taking communion, which, was my official communion, if you will. So receiving communion for the first time officially in the Roman Catholic Church was just an amazing feeling. And having all of those parishioners and folks and family in the audience, praying for you and cheering you on and congratulating you. I mean, it's just an amazing feeling. Yeah. It's amazing.
So, which is so good because you're right. We call it Holy Communion. It's you in communion with the Lord and everything He desires for you, with your family and your friends, and obviously all the saints and angels who are there accompanying us. But yeah, how would you get some more words to that? Like, you're right. It was a feeling, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, and sometimes you can't put words to it, but try.
I mean, I think when you think about it, what you're going to go through, you might be a little nervous or you might be a little excited, and I was. But when it happens, it's like it's light and it's energy and it's just openness. I mean, there was nothing but goodness for that hour and a half of time that we were there, that we did it. And so, I mean, it was amazing. I don't know how else to say other than amazing. And there was a lot of love in that room, and there was a lot of hope and faith, and it was just a great day.
Yeah. So Pete also had a very unique journey in certain ways coming into the Catholic Church, because you joined OCIA, and then after the Easter Vigil, I think it was like a week or two after, we went on a pilgrimage to Rome with the choir here at St. Basil. So why don't you just share a little bit about like coming to church here at Brecksville, Ohio, but then also going to Rome, which is where our foundation is.
Yeah, that was interesting. So this wasn't planned. It was something where, I was going to go through OCIA and then become Catholic here in Brecksville. But the trip came up for Steph and the choir to go to Rome. And I decided to join. And the timing worked out so perfect that once I became Catholic here, that we went to Italy. Yeah. And on one of the stops, of course, we saw some beautiful things and some true miracles. But, what really stood out was going to the Vatican. I mean, who goes and becomes Catholic, and then 2 weeks later they're sitting in the Vatican, hanging out in the Sistine Chapel, right, with some of our close friends. It was very moving for me, and it got me to kind of see and understand, really how this all came about. Yeah. St. Peter's Basilica, right, of course. We saw St. Paul's. I'm getting all the names wrong, but nonetheless, I mean, we saw some amazing and beautiful things. Yeah. And what it kind of led me to believe is like how much the struggle was, how persecuted people were for being Christian, and what Jesus went through, and how it was just so hard, but yet they kept the faith. Yeah. Yet they stayed with it. They kept the faith, and here we are 2,000 years later, and it's still alive and well. Yeah. And that all came through from this trip, and that it's you're not alone in this. It's something that's very profound, and it was very moving. And really standing in the courtyard in Vatican City was just like, wow, yeah, I'm here. I'm part of this beautiful big network of Christians and Catholics, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Do you remember what it was like when you walked out of that hall and into St. Peter's the first time?
Oh, it was just incredible. I mean, the artwork and the just the immensity of the whole place. Obviously, and having a mass in St. Peter's Basilica was beautiful. And listening to the choir sing, I mean, it was just phenomenal. And so, I mean, I don't think you could have had a better high note, right, to becoming Catholic than going to
without a doubt
to Rome and to St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. I mean, it's just insane, just insane. But absolutely loved every minute of it. Saw so much, and I think it reinforced that I made a good decision. Yeah. Right? How could you not? But we're very fortunate, very lucky to be able to have done that. And of course, I did that with Stephanie, and it's just amazing.
No, of course. When I think to what you just said, like I'm part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, you are. All of us, whenever you go to Rome, you're definitely blown away by the architecture and the art and the beauty. And I mean, you're right. It came at a price. Yeah. But at a certain point, also like. It was people testifying to what we do here matters. It is real. I'm literally going to stake my life on this in a certain way, like for all of us to experience the beauty of God in certain ways. And yet it's just a fraction of what's to come. Yeah. I mean, so no, it was truly a good experience. So you're right. You got to experience OCA coming into the church. You went to Rome. And then you also, if I'm correct, you won the raffle also at the St. Basil golf outing.
Yeah. So I wasn't expecting that either. Yeah, so I mean, I only bought a few tickets. I figured, well, okay, let's give it a shot. I was not expecting to win at all, of course, but yeah, they pulled my name and I won. And all I can really say is that I'm grateful for that, and we'll do something nice for the family.
Absolutely.
But in reality, join St. Basil as a church, and you'll become richer in more ways than one.
That's also so true. Now, I can't promise we're going to do another pilgrimage to Rome next year, but I think to your point, like, that's just how the Lord likes to surprise us in certain ways. Like, I have so much to show you, and I'm going to bless your life with so much abundance. And sometimes we just like settle, and I think the Lord's like, the best is always yet to come. And these great,
And it has, and I get surprised nearly every day with something beautiful like that.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful.
So since coming into the Roman Catholic Church, I guess how have you maybe seen yourself differently in light of all this, and maybe just share a little bit of like, how has your relationship with Jesus maybe changed in light of this as well?
Okay, that's a great question. By the way, the night that I was confirmed Roman Catholic was the night I became a member of St. Basil Church. I think Tommy Dome said something like, I think you were the first one to do it. So yes, joined as Stephanie and I officially, right? So yeah, I mean, as far as my faith journey goes, again, I still kind of think I'm in the beginning stages of it, but I question my reactions now. Mm-hmm. I question my, do I need to get angry? No. Mm-hmm. Do I need to be more generous? Of course. Do I need to do, better things for other people? Yes. And my journey is to be Christ-like, to do the things that Jesus would do to help other people, to be more open, to be more acceptable and more sharing and more giving. So, I couldn't quote a Bible scripture word for word, but I know what something is good and I know when something is wrong. Yeah. So it changed my life in the sense that I tried to do more and things and better things.
Right. Well, and I think even just to your point, like, what a grace to see like things slow down now. And I think it is that space that the Holy Spirit and Jesus come into, just like for you now to be able to really process something that's so human, our passions, our emotions, but to understand like, well, kind of in a simple way you're doing it, I'll name it, but like the idea of like, where's Christ operating here? And what is he having me acknowledge? And obviously things I can't control and can't control. And that truly is, and I just want to affirm that in a way, because like, well, that is the goodness of the Catholic Church. Like, you don't stop being Pete.
Right. No, 100%. And that was the best advice I got from is like, just keep being yourself, but just be a better yourself.
Yeah.
And and then so I'll joke with myself or something if I do something that maybe I'm not happy with. I'll say, well, that wasn't very Christian. So, but yeah, it gets me to think about being a better person and doing better things. So that's I think, what else is there? I mean, right. I mean, be a good citizen, be a good husband, be a good friend, be a good steward of Christianity. And what else is there?
Well, I completely agree. And in a certain way, like when we start doing those in our ordinary daily lives, ultimately we will hopefully now become a saint. Because you're right, like be a good person, be a good steward, be a good husband, be these things. And ultimately you're going to be yourself more and more. Yeah. And then you'll truly, as you continue to journey, and as you shared so far, like, oh, that's what sainthood begins to look like. It looks very natural, but yet becomes supernatural through the grace of God. And you've been sharing that because even your story from now until even before OCIA and even before that, like if there's anything to affirm with your journey and so many of ours, it's just how gentle God is when it comes to accompanying us and responding yes in those small moments of like, all right, Lord, I'll take that next step. Yeah. All right, Lord, I'll respond with a little bit more faith. And I think that's been just the beauty of Pete sharing his story with us today, and as you continue to go forward as well. So before we wrap up, I would just like to invite you. What would you like to share or invite or encourage somebody who's maybe going to hear this podcast that's maybe on the fence about OCIA, or maybe somebody who is Catholic from our parish community? What can they do to maybe invite somebody else? So
great question. And I think if you are on the fence, obviously you're thinking on becoming Catholic or becoming more Christian or not. So you have choices, right? And the choices are what make and define who you are as a person. So if you have a question to whether or not you want to go through OCIA, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, just simply do it. You can learn. And I think you cannot be educated enough when you make your decisions, right? So learn from people that have been through it. Learn from priests and learn from members of the church and members of your family, and then you can make a decision. Right? I mean, we're going to encourage you to want to be Catholic, but if you're on the fence, go learn it. There's nothing to hurt for going out and trying to learn and understand and have conversations, because, I mean, you'll educate yourself. And I believe an educated Christian is better than someone that's not familiar with all this stuff. So,
Amen.
If you're on the fence, go do it.
Yeah.
Because I heard a story once that the devil owns the fence.
Oh, that's good.
The man walks out of his home and he walks into a field and he sees a fence. And on the right-hand side is God and light and bright. And on the left-hand side is the devil, which is dark and everything else. And he talks to God, and God says, come with me, profess your faith, and I will give you eternal life. I will give you happiness. I will give you, spiritual guidance, and you will be in heaven.
Yeah.
The devil says, I'll give you all the stuff you never had. I'll give you things. I'll give you all those things that you wanted that you never got. And so the guy chooses to sit on the fence. All of a sudden, this guy goes dark. He's down in hell, and he says, what happened? The devil says, I own the fence. Don't sit on the fence.
Yeah. Oh, that's powerful. Or we can do the Pete Baka route, which is just, hey, join the community. Hey, show up, pray with us, worship with us, and just even expose yourself to, like you said, it's like if you have Catholic friends,
ask them questions. There's so many great people at St. Basil. There's so many people. I mean, obviously with everybody knows Stefan, and they love Stephanie, and I'm just a part of that. But, so many people are coming up and shaking hands and blessing us, and it's just a wonderful, beautiful thing.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So to anybody out there, if you're on the fence, don't be, because obviously we know who owns that fence now, but as well, there's no commitment. You can just start showing up and just receiving and seeing if the Lord is calling you to possibly joining the Roman Catholic Church. And you've heard Pete's testimony here today. We were very blessed to hear your story, because in doing so, we hear how the Lord is working and operating your life in such a good way and continues to do so in such a graced way as well. Also, this will be my last OCIA class I will be doing. So it has been just an absolute grace to journey with people and to see them come into the church. And it really is a blessing to see people come fully alive in themselves and truly encountering Jesus Christ in a way that they'll never be the same. So I encourage all of you Catholics, if you know somebody in your life who is not Catholic, and maybe just give them that simple invitation. Hey, have you ever thought? I'll be praying for you, and if you ever want to hear more from me or know more, just come talk to me, and maybe you will be a sponsor to them, and you can experience what Pete did, as well journeying with them through OCIA as well. So this is Father Jeffrey Liptak. I am praying for all of you at St. Basil, and those of you who are thinking about converting, you'll be in my thoughts and my prayers. God bless, and have a great rest of your day.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast from our parish. If something touched your heart, we encourage you to take it to prayer. To be notified of future podcasts, please hit that subscribe button and feel free to share this podcast with a friend. We would love to keep in touch. You can find us at basilthegreat.org. Until next time, St. Basil the Great, pray for us.